final match of day number 4. PCS7 Apac. Remember, after this one, though, in a couple hours, we are going to have PCS Americas, probably a bit more than a couple of hours, so stick around for that. Yeah, it's quite a few hours, so maybe take a nap before then, because you don't want to miss any of this action. But I'll tell you what, it's potentially a fight of their own. Cerberus spin it round. Expendables are ready, though. Teddy opens up onto Ninja as 777 with the flick runs out of ammo. Duckjuice going to be able to find the trade onto one, but Mr. Clay is there to flush it out with the mutant of all guns. Smell and 777, though, working together. They find the trade. It's Mr. Clay out. Smell tries to close it, wants to go for the sweep, hasn't been able to find that player. Pete, well, he thinks the player's on the outside. Little does he know he's coming right through the doorway, spotted out from the other side, should be able to make the call onto this solo, but as Smell finds the flush, Mr. Clay is confirmed. Pete tries to close in for the trade, but Teddy can't get there because the other two expendable members down to the south on the other side of things. They're on 5, taking engagement. Nate, though, comes out over the top as Rain crashes out, gets taken down. Pete finishes off Smell. Expendables down to a 2-man. The same being said for Origami Orangutans as the crash, well, it's just not worked out for them. 1 or 2 more bullets onto Makita will be enough to get the knock, but he lands the seat swap onto Exquisite first. Origami Orangutans, they nearly got a point, but unfortunately not. The knock is stolen away as they're out in dead last. A big fat 0 for that match, and not what that squad were looking for. Half decent. They should be able to lock themselves into PGC, but it's not guaranteed with the way they're currently performing. That nade, though, guarantees at least a knock, and it helps out with a second. Pattern Pong falls. 777 tries to get back up, but he will be getting spotted out by Rossiter. Duckjuice with the 3x, 2 bullets in his gun, manages to survive, but his teammate Blair and the Expendables, let's see how expendable they really are when there's only one left. Team Bliss looking quite precarious right now. They spread themselves thin, and they might just end up getting punished as Mirage lands the spray, follows it with a second, trying to make a final stand, but Archangel Predator, it's a 2 versus 1. Long-range fire support comes through. Mirage finds another. There's only going to be Nan left standing, or should I say proning. 9 health on Mirage as Archangel Predator fall. That's going to be the end of him, but importantly claims valuable points for Team Bliss, and Keith Orley, he starts flanking even further. SGD, though, Jervis waiting for the seat swap and ultimately gets taken down. Icarus Cyber pick up that point, and they have just broken apart SGD's defenses. Sophia is the last line as the rest of the squad try to close in. New generation have spotted him out. He's got to try and get the heal, and Leo has to get there quickly.
We said that they could have got on the high ground and got ahead of Icarus Cyber to try and hold them out, but they didn't get high enough, and now Buriram has just walked up directly in front of them, but they themselves are now having to deal with a push from behind as New Generation Esports have an angle on towards them, and unfortunately, that does mean Buriram can't commit to this, and that gives a bit of freedom, a bit of space for Sophia. That's all he needs. A grenade onto Antoine, a spray onto J-End. It's not going to be enough to secure the flush. He gets the 1 as the Molotov of Antoine kills himself, but Dayan stealing away the kill point of the second. New Gen really making the most of their opportunity to creep their way forwards, taking down the players of Buriram as well, putting some damage in. A good spray from range, but it's only a tap required from Dayan. Again, New Generation Esports, third partying is going very, very well. Now they still have another potential engagement to try and capitalize on, as SGD pretty inevitably going to be running into Buriram fairly soon. On the high ground on the eastern side of zone, they're going to have multiple teams to try and contend with in their efforts to try and hold it. Oh my god, Shen, Jesus. 6x spray with the MK on full auto. Doesn't quite get enough damage in. He does land a tag or 2, but it's actually E-Arena who've rocked up and added their name into the mix for supremacy of this eastern hilltop, or Llama Hill, if you're Yazzie in the chat, apparently. But, oh man. From range, Shen forced backwards, and he's just going to run directly back towards FTF, who have been creeping up behind him. Teddy didn't see. He hasn't spotted him. Oh no, Shen! Oh! What is that? He's just spun around. He's killed 3 people.
now it's all on to Neil with the nade, third party in E-Arena as they are just getting torn apart right now. It is such a mess on the eastern side. Vanyi with the SLR can't finish off the job. Maybe the barrel can. No! Neil falls, so does Cheeksing as Tycoon from Cerberus also getting in on this action. 3x sprays come through. E-Arena down in 10th. 9 squads remain, and if Cerberus have their way, they're going to be in the placement points in just a couple seconds. Edie closing through, finds a bit of damage, but it's a knock, and he's not going to be getting the point out of it. Buran Peacock can actually find the headshot, immediately traded out by Tycoon. It's all onto Edie, but it's just not enough. Cerberus continuing the momentum as they clear up yet another squad. That's the first of this game, but not of the tournament, Saga.
Well, the C in CES stands for calculated. They lurked as long as they needed to. They waited for so many shots up top, and they picked their moment impeccably, rocking up behind. Oram had no chance whatsoever, caught in the middle, and just look at the gap now. Stark opposite of the previous game. So many of the top 6 teams now eliminated, and Cerberus still 4 strong with a good hold on the eastern side, and potentially more to come, as well as Daytrade just spamming grenades into the Wizard Tower. They've really just... Every time Team Bliss goes into one of these towers, it's just a recipe for disaster, and unfortunately it looks like this time's going to be no different, but maybe they're going to get a bit of a bailout here. Cerberus have crept up close. They've got themselves into a bit of an off angle and putting some pressure on towards Daytrade. A headshot through the smoke onto Nurins will force him to hit the deck, and that's given time now for Team Bliss to get the revive, from Monty to get some heals, and for them to provide some utility as well, maybe just helping out Cerberus of all teams. But Belmoth is doing the best that he can to hold the line. Up close and personal, hits the deck through the smoke, and that's fantastic cover from Flash over the top as well.
Beautifully done from Flash. Hymus will go down, but Belmoth immediately gets traded. Smokes provide a little bit of cover, but ultimately they don't stop the nades coming through. New Generation out in 8. The 7 squads remain. Team Bliss being very careful not to overpeak here. As now Bryn and Insight just waiting so cautiously, realizing that Daytrade still have a player over on this hillside covering for if they do come out. If they get the angle onto Flash, though, you've got to think they're going to try and punish. YM up over the top with the 3x, still finding nothing as Cerberus seem to rethink their rotation. Or are they just playing mind games with me and they're about to crash Daytrade?
How Daytrade come out of that with 3 alive and Cerberus come out with 4 alive is just crazy. Duck Juice, oh man, he was ready to hold the line. He's got 2 down. He might just get more. Insight, though, has it all to do as Bryn has been knocked on the entry of Flash, but chicken dinner chance for them in this one. And all I really have to do is make sure that Yuta cannot backstab once again. Oh, he got close. Jarman's helmet was removed, but he landed the headshot back onto Yuta just in time, and now they have full control of the northern side. Both Trick. Well, maybe not Trick. Not Trick anymore.
Too much. They're not peeking for long enough to be able to get a good scan, and Tycoon could potentially punish there. Julio's still up top, but it's going to be Skeet who gets the kill, and importantly gets that chicken dinner. Are we noticing a theme here, Sarg, with MSC waiting until the last game to get a win?
Hey man, that's all they got to do is just work off the hangover from last night after the party, I guess. Just wait that one out. But hey man, it's a very important win because once again, there is so much on the line in terms of the points, the standings, and how close things together to
games that we typically expect from a first place team. As you can see there, a huge margin, 26 points between first and second. That is a game and a half. Sorry, I lost my breath because that is shocking.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's that lead that is so consistently around that mark, regardless of the high peaks that teams